Hello my friends, welcome back to my channel. It's Belinda here from Visualized NZ, and it's Trashcraft Tuesday time. Now I did have a little dilemma with Trashcraft Tuesday in that, I'm not operating at full capacity. I can't run around the house grabbing things like I normally would, and so I was like, what am I actually going to do? So it's a really low-key activity today. I hope it still hits the spot for you guys. I've got my bag here of offcuts of book pages and copy dyed paper and all that sort of jazz. So I'm just going to grab a few out. I know I've done this recently, but hopefully I'm going to provide something just a little bit different today. And if not, well, I'm still going to have fun, and I hope you guys do too. So just grabbing random bits and pieces of whatever. Some of these need straightening. That should be plenty. I don't think we're going to get all this done. So I've got 4 new stamp sets recently, and 3 of them I have not touched, I have not played with, and so I'd like to play with them and see what we get. Okay, I can actually work on this side of this one. That will be fine. Do I want to trim up now? I think I want to trim up now. Sorry, I forgot to put my phone on Do Not Disturb, so just let me do that for a moment. Okay, right. Actually, I'm just going to leave it. No, I'm going to leave it. I'm going to live dangerously. Let's do this. Okay, so I've got just a bit of packaging paper as a drop sheet behind. We've got offcuts of paper that, otherwise would be thrown in the trash because they're just little scrappy bits. Little strips, and like this one that's not even straight. Maybe I do want to tear this one down a touch. I can't help myself. I said let's live dangerously, and here I am trimming this one down, but it was wildly not straight, whereas this one is kind of a little bit more forgiving, I think. Anyway, let's lay some pieces out. That's a really nice fun coffee dyed piece, and let's grab some stamps and kind of see what we can make with them. So first off, I've got these kind of tickety type, I don't know if they're tickets, but they're that's what they speak to me of. So let's grab one, put it on a block, and find a bit of paper that's wide enough. So these bits actually aren't wide enough. Is this one going to be wide enough? That one might just be wide enough. There's the scrap of brown paper here, and then this coffee dyed bit, they're certainly wide enough. So let's get stamping. Grab my black. I'm just going to go black while I'm playing. I don't know what these will stamp like. They weren't expensive. They weren't, branded ones. They are just cheap Chinese, hopefully not knockoffs. I try not to buy knockoffs if I know that there's a brand out there, but I can't guarantee because unless I've seen it and know that it's a knockoff, I haven't necessarily come across the stamp, the original stamp. So please don't attack me if any of these are actually knockoffs of branded stamps, because I simply do not know. There's one set I really, really want, but I know it's a knockoff of Tim Holtz brand, and I just don't believe in piracy. If I accidentally buy something that's actually a knockoff, well, I plead innocence, but I try not to. I try not to buy knockoffs. But it's the risk you take when you buy from China, isn't it? Right, I'm giving this a good amount of time since I haven't used the stamp before. Yeah, it's not fantastic, is it? But, I'm going to live dangerously. I've already said that on more than one occasion today, haven't I? But I am going to try it again. And that's the other risk you take when you buy from China, is that they don't actually work that well. But I'm happy. If this doesn't work as a stamp in its own right, then as a texture stamp, as a background stamp, I'm quite happy, because it doesn't need to be perfect to just add a bit of detail on the background. Of course, I hope it does work nicely for me, but if it doesn't, so be it. I'm just going to lift this up and try and press it into the area that wasn't, this sort of area here that wasn't stamping so well first time around. Yeah, see, that's much better. So I do that quite often with stamps, is I just lift it up with the paper and press it on the areas that aren't stamping. So that works quite well. Okay. So let's stamp this one off and let's try a different one, because I don't want to do, you know, just, I've got 4 sets to play with. Why would I just stick to one stamp? I don't know. Variety is the spice of life. What else would I want to play with? This one in the middle, I think. This one would be fun on coloured paper, I do believe. But I'm not working on coloured paper today, so we will just do it on our scrappy bits here. Maybe I'll do a session another day on scraps of coloured paper or scrapbook paper or digitals or something along those lines. If you'd like that, let me know. If you don't let me know, I'll probably do it anyway. But I do love hearing from you, so reach out. Say hi. Tell me what you're up to. Love to hear from you. So I am recording this on Monday afternoon. Quite late in the day for me to be recording, but I wanted to get this done so that that one's fine. That stamp's fine. Have we got room to fit just half of it? I think we do. Let's just go with the bottom one. What was I saying? Gosh. Yes, so late in the day recording, but I wanted to get it done so it would upload and be ready for my normal time of 11:30, which is, of course, New Zealand time, on Tuesday. So I've been busy in the office today putting together some freebies. So there's a bunch of new freebies. There's one in Visual Vibes. There's 3 matching pages on Buy Me a Coffee. Now, they may be on Buy Me a Coffee, but you do not have to pay anything to get those freebies. It's just simply the platform I'm choosing to put them on. They are completely free, no strings attached, so don't feel like you can't go and grab them because you're afraid that you might have to buy it. You do not. If you do want to support me on Buy Me a Coffee, then I just say thank you, but you absolutely do not have to get those freebies. And then there is coordinating ephemera, 2 pages of ephemera available in the July newsletter, which went out today. So if you are subscribed to that newsletter, it will be in your inbox. If it's not in your inbox, then check your spam, your junk folders, things like that, and let me know if it's gone astray. If you haven't subscribed yet and you would like to, then please do head along to the sign up page. It is in the description box below the video. Sign up and I will do another resend, well, not a resend, but a send out to new subscribers, kind of like the middle of the month. So you can still get this month's freebies and the discount code for Etsy if you choose to use it. That's just a bonus. If you choose to use it, you do not have to use it. Right, I'm really happy with that stamp. I got quite carried away in stamping that one. But no matter. Is there another one we want to play with? Oh, I think I want to play with... Oh, which one? Maybe this one. Sorry, you're probably not even seeing them as I choose because they were off screen. So I'm just going to make this the last one from this set that I use. And then I'm going to switch to the other set that I've got beside me, and the other two sets are more decorative. So, you know, these ones are more sort of text and numbers. It will fit there, I think. I'll just need to cut it rather than tear it. Yeah, maybe I should have lifted that one, and you can see the areas where it didn't stamp because the ink is still left on it. So I can use that in layering and not as a focal point. So that's fine, but let's try again and do my lift up. So here's a little strip of music paper. Let's go down this end. And I'm going to, again, just slide it, lift it up, and press it into those areas that didn't stamp so well. So it's like the ease down here, a little bit up here is basically where it didn't stamp so well, and a few numbers in around here. So press it in and it should be pretty good. You do have to be careful because if it moves you'll end up with shadowing. But you know, if you're using scraps of paper, so if you waste a little bit of paper, what's it going to matter? If you're using, you know, a brand new piece of your best paper, then you'd be a little annoyed. But if you're using up scraps, like I'm doing here, then it really is no drama if it goes wonky or shadows or anything. You can either ditch it, or this one I will still use. And I am going to tear it since it didn't stamp properly. I am going to just tear it out. And I'll just use that in collage. Absolutely fine. Nothing wrong with it for collage. This one I did actually end up shadowing a little bit, but not too badly. If I fussy cut that out, I can eliminate some of that shadowing, and the rest I think will be fine. So I'm happy. I'm happy enough. Okay, so I'm going to put that stamp set aside. Can't tell you a name or anything, or a shop or whatever. I was wondering why these looked weird. I was looking at it's like, oh, they've printed it back to front. No, I just had it upside down. Spin it around and suddenly it makes sense. Funny that. Oh dear, it's one of those days, isn't it? I really like this wee bird stamp, but I'm kind of suspicious that the words on it don't make sense. I can't quite read them on the plastic. Oops, and I just put that all over my ink pad. It really is one of those days, isn't it? Goodness. Right, let's stamp it and see if we can read the words on it. Let's see whether it stamps correctly. We shall do the elevator music while we wait 5 seconds for the ink to transfer. Okay, yeah, that's stamped okay. And it's in a foreign language, so that is absolutely fine. I'm happy with it being a foreign language because it doesn't need to make sense for me. That's super cute. I think that's really lovely. And this would look really good in a different colour, I think. Yes, that's cute. That is cute. Okay, I think I want to try it in a colour. What colour would we like? Trying to move things out the way. Do we want blue? Maybe blue. Blue could be quite pretty, couldn't it? Let's try blue. It's Cobalt Ranger Archival ink. Let's do it directly over. There's a little stain on the paper. It just adds to the age. Could be deliberate. It's not deliberate. It's just part of the aging of the paper, but it could be deliberate if we coffee dyed it. So I'm fine with that stain there. It's authentic age, isn't it? That is so cute. Love that one. That's fun. Okay, so we've done the bird. We've got a little specimen label here. Shall we try that one? I think some of these others will need to be a different video because they're like not to be used on their own. Oh, there's a little botanical one there too, and a butterfly one, similar style as the bird. Let's use this specimen one. So like these can all be used on their own, whereas the others need to be like added to other things. So maybe we'll just stick with these type for now. I think black, back to black. This has got lovely font on it, actually, lovely sort of handwritten bit. Oh, have I got room to do sideways? Yes, I do. We can fit two in if I do it this way. In good order and condition, it says at the bottom. Yeah, fun. Fun. Let's just do one more of those. Have we got room? No, we haven't got room on that one. Maybe this paper just for something different. Try out the different papers. Yep, cool. And shall we try one more, and then we'll cut these out and see what we can do to make them look cool. So they'll just be little decorative bits to add on to ephemera. Almost sort of label-like. I want to try this botanical one. Right, yes, we've got room down there, cool. Oh yes, that's lovely too. I did smudge the writing a little bit, but it's okay. It's just texture. So I'm quite happy with that. Let's see if I can do this one without rocking the stamp. Can be good and sometimes it's bad, and it really depends on the stamp. Yeah, that's slightly better. I'm wondering whether the stamp's actually got a slight shadow on it anyway, but that one did come out slightly better because I didn't rock it so much. Okay, let's close up the stamp pad, put the stamp away here, and let's have a little play. So I didn't use many stamps, and I only used two or parts of two sets, but that's okay. I don't want to be sitting here a long time. Already because I've actually got my leg down, which I probably shouldn't, but I was just getting frustrated with the limitations of having it up. So it's already kind of telling me it's not very happy. So I am going to try. Ooh, gosh, where did those bruises come from? I can't believe how many bruises are just popping up all over, and I hadn't noticed those ones before. They don't look new though, they look quite old, but I haven't noticed them. I think sometimes they're yellow before I even realise that they're there, and not because they're old, but because they just progress through the stages quickly. I'm not quite as black and blue, you know, that's yellow, but you know, black and blue is what I was after surgery. I've lost a lot of the bruising, but then I'm coming out in new ones. It's quite fascinating. Very fascinating. Okay, I'm just doing square cut around these. Just because there's not very much room to do tearing, to give them a torn edge, even if I use the ruler. Now, do I want that line down there? Or do I want to cut it off? I think I'll leave it for now. And then I'll see what it looks like, and in the future I may decide to just trim off the line because it's only on one side. Now this little pair of stamps, you could actually use them individually or together, so like stamp them together because they're all on one stamp, but then you could cut them apart and use them as two individual little pieces, or you could leave them like this as one piece. So options, I love when stamps present me options of how I can use them. And that's how I choose my stamps. I look for how I'm going to use them, what I will use them for, and thinking outside the box, like what things will they lend themselves to. Okay, let's go in quite close to this line, this border. So hopefully you don't mind me just sitting here and cutting these out, but they need to be cut out so we can do something else with them. And hopefully soon I will be back to normal and able to do some fun things, you know, some real trash craft stuff of things out of the trash. I miss it, I really do. Okay, we're getting there, people. I want to cut this way first, so that will give me a straight edge to try and cut, kind of. Right, just 4 more to do. This is really soft paper, this, the music paper. It's definitely antique, I think. Pretty sure this is antique music paper from the early 1900s. So well over 100 years old, I believe, from memory, if it's out of the book that I think it's out of, which pretty sure it is. I get a lot of pleasure out of knowing when something's antique or vintage. It's like, you know, it's got some age, it's got some history. If it could talk, it would tell us some stories. Now this one I'm going to cut right up against the borderline because it did shadow slightly. Here we go. And this first one we did, that didn't, oh no, I missed, we've still got 2 more. So I thought we were almost there, and we are almost there, but not quite as almost there as I thought. Oh, neighbours got music going in the car loud. Right, 2 more to do. You're hanging in there, peeps. Right, 1 more. I mean, very quickly you end up with a lot of usable stuff, don't you? And it's fun. I find stamping really quite enjoyable. Just, to be honest, I probably prefer it to do off camera because I can just relax and play and fiddle around and and ah over what I want and how I want to do it. but I needed something. Oh, and I found one more. This is the collage one, so no, we don't need to do that one. I'm just going to have a wee sip of my drink here. Got a caramelized white chocolate sachet drink. Yum. Sometimes I get a bit sick of just tea or coffee, so I like to have just something to mix it up a little bit. Okay, so I definitely want to, let's start by distressing this one up. And I really love to mix and match my stamps. It's a lot of fun and enhances the usability of them. So for these ones, I've got just that in mind, mixing and matching and adding a little extra stamped detail to these two. And I'm probably going to want the vintage photo still. So I'm going to grab out this stamp set, which I've had for quite a while now. And I've got these splattery bits and pieces. So I'm thinking just this little splatter here. I'll grab a smaller block, I think. Don't need the larger block. I'm going to grab the vintage photo. Just add a little bit of aging detail to it, because we can. Just here and there. Fun. Yes, I do like that. It just adds a little something. It's not much, it's just a tiny little touch of detail. And there we have a couple of fun little bits to add. Okay, let's give this an edge. This is very, very thin, sort of more like note paper, this coffee dyed piece, so you want to be a little bit gentler with it. Don't want to tear it, although tearing would absolutely add a little bit of something, wouldn't it? Oops, sorry guys, it just knocked you for a bit of a wobble there. Now would I like to do anything with this? I really like this coffee stain across here. Maybe we want to add, actually not the vintage photo this time. Let's go coffee. There we go. It's kind of like the coffee went splatter and then ran along. I'm just playing. Okay. I kind of really like that as is. But in the interest of doing something a bit different, this is one of the other new sets I got. I picked it up from a store when I was last out in the city. I haven't tried this set at all. It was super cheap. But I'm just looking at this leaf here. And shall I be brave and see whether I can get it to stamp? Okay. This may be a bad idea. It may not stamp properly. But I'm game if you are. Are you game? Tell me that. Are you game? You can say yes, because it's, you know, it's going to go wrong for me, not you, if it goes wrong. Right, hopefully that's enough ink. It's hard to tell, actually. And I don't know why I want to put this leafy bit here. I just do. And so I'm gonna. Nobody can tell me I shouldn't. Well, you can in the comments if you like. Or you shouldn't have done that, Belinda. That was a bad idea. Okay, it actually stamped really well. I don't know if you can see that. Well enough. Can you see that? Is it focusing? I can't even tell if the camera's focusing, I'm sorry. So hopefully you just didn't feel like you need your eyes checked then. And you know what? I just want to put another little bit at the top here. Just to add a little something. You know, just dress it up slightly and make it unique. Because this is how you take something that, you know, to be honest, a lot of people could have and make it your own. Doing little additions, mixing up how you do it, what colour you do it in, and how you treat it afterwards. So that's cute. Okay, the little birdie here, I think in the blue, I think I'm just going to distress the edge of this one. And you don't need to distress the edge. I mean, I could leave these until I use them and see whether I actually want them distressed or not. But I just wanted to play and see if we could make something, you know, just a little bit cooler or a little bit different to just the plain stamp as is. So give that a distress. Have another wee sip of my drink here. I've got it in a travel mug so I don't spill it when I'm carrying it from the kitchen to the couch, and I keep getting, it's got the liquid on the cap, and I keep getting it on my nose every time I take a drink. Which then I have to wipe my nose. Funny. Do I want to put anything on that? Let's try this. This is a fun stamp, this one. It's kind of like a dot splatter as opposed to a big splatter, if you know what I mean. Alright, let's put this one on. And what colour might we like? Coffee again. Yeah, it's a bit of fun, isn't it? Just little subtle touches, or not so subtle. They're probably not so subtle actually, but just little touches. Oh, it's really making me want to experiment with different colours now. Right, this little birdie. I wanted to say this little birdie went to town, but you know, it's this little piggy went to town, went to market. Don't know why I said this little birdie went to town. I was just looking at another stamp set there, but no, I'm not feeling it. So that could work in there. I've got an idea. This is not what I'd intended, but let's give it a whirl and see how it looks. So this stamp set I've had for ages. It's from Frog and Squirrel, I think. No, Squirrels and Frogs. I almost had it right. It's a really cool stamp set. It doesn't seem to have a name, but it's got butterflies and these postage stamps and some bugs and things. I'm just wondering, have I got something wide enough to do this on? Is that wide enough? No, that's not wide enough. We might have to find something else. No, not that. Oh, here we go. A bit of coffee dyed paper. That'll work. That's from some printables I'd printed off. Right, and that's in black. So, do we want to give it a coloured? Let's go coloured, because we're playing. Oh, hang on a moment, people. I've lost my red stamp pad. Oh, found it. I want to go red just because. Yes, I've got room to go this way. Hopefully I'm on camera. I think I'm quite low down on the screen, aren't I? Maybe I need to push up a little bit. Do love these stamps. They stamp really well and they're just really fun to play with because you can use them in so many different ways. Right, so what I want to do with this is cut out the middle if I can. So just wondering what's easiest, whether I use a craft knife or whether I use the scissors. So I think I'm gonna just do that in the middle, little X with craft knife, and then come in with my fussy cutting scissors and kind of cut just inside the line. Around this got curved corners. Sorry, trying to just come forward a bit because I think I'm in danger of running off camera. Yes, I think scissors were a good choice actually. Right. Now you could just like stamp that and then stamp this image inside. But I really like the idea of the two different color papers. And then this is longer than the space, so it would overlap unless you like masked it out. But I think that's just a bit of fun, something a little bit different. So let's run a little bit of glue around the edge of this frame. That should do it. Make sure I do it up the right way. Oops, and let's turn it over, make sure it's straight because it's certainly not at the moment. About there, so it's barely catching on the sides. In fact, it's probably not, but once it's glued down onto something, it won't matter. It won't be noticeable. So I'm just going to square cut around the postage stamp little scallops. And I haven't been able to find my postmark stamp. I've got a couple of them, but they're missing in action. I don't know where I've put them. And of course I can't go looking for them at the moment. But they have been missing a lot longer than I've been in a cast. So goodness knows what I've done with them. They've probably been caught up with something. Do I need to? No, I think it's not. I wouldn't actually be able to glue the edges down because I should have, if I'd known I was going to do this, I'd just leave more of a border around it when I cut it out, but I didn't have that in mind. So yeah, do this again, I'd leave more of a border so I can glue it together properly. But as I said, once you glue it down on your project, say this tag here is your project, and you glue it down, like it will be fine. It's not going to come apart once you do that. Cool. I really like that. Really like that indeed. I think that's fun. And if I had a postmark stamp, I would put a little postmark on it somewhere. But super happy with that. A little bit wonky. I don't care. I think it looks sweet. These are the ones that you could use together or apart. And I think these would look really good on colour paper. I really do. You know, like the old-fashioned tickets that you tear off, which we all love to add into journals and things. I think that would look super cool. And I'm just going to leave those together. Now, my foot is really starting to give me a bit of jip. So, I think I'm going to call it a day. Because I don't want to end up, you know, suffering any more than I have to. So, it's wise to know when to call it quits, isn't it? So, I'm calling it quits. Let's have a little look at what we did. So, I'll just grab out these, move these aside. So we didn't get through many scraps of paper, but that's okay. There's stuff for another day. So these are the ones that we haven't done anything else with. They're just as we stamped them. And I think they are super cute and very, very usable little pieces. So that's the plain ones. I say plain, but you know, they are highly decorative already. And these are the ones that I've just done a little something to. So this one I've just inked around. This one I've inked around and added a few splotches. That one I just inked around, and it's the one we did in blue. Then there's this one that I added some leaves to and a little splotch of spatter. And then the two on the brown, so push those up. Two on the brown that I added the little splatters to, the stamped splatters. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 pieces, baker's dozen. And what didn't take us very long, really. You know, I faffed around a little bit, but it's fun. Enjoy. So I hope this gave you an idea or something a bit fresh maybe, I don't know. But I do hope above all that you're having a beautiful day, that you're inspired, that you're being creative, and that you have a wonderful day tomorrow. Thanks for being here. Take care, everybody, and I'll see you again soon. Bye.